In the Vatican Basilica in Rome, in Jerusalem, and throughout the world, the solemnity of the Mary Most Holy, Mother of God, was celebrated on the occasion of the 51st World Day for Peace.
In Nazareth, Galilee, on the last day of 2017, local pilgrims and Christians took part in the Feast of the Holy Family.
On December 28, 2017, the Holy Innocents were remembered in a Mass celebrated in the Church of the Nativity in Bethlehem, the place where the massacre, ordered by order of King Herod, took place.
In the excavation area at the Tomb of Lazarus, Palestinian workers and restorers are learning the secrets of restoration by Italian experts in the field, thanks to the project of ATS Pro Terra Santa.
We visited St. Joseph Hospital in Jerusalem to learn about the technique used in water birth, already popular in other countries, and to document it.
On the first page of the calendar of the new year that the Lord gives us, the Church places a stupendous miniature, the liturgical solemnity of Mary Most Holy, Mother of God. On this first day of the solar year, let us fix our gaze on her, to resume under her maternal protection the journey along the paths of time. These were Pope Francis's words at the first Angelus prayer of 2018. The solemnity was celebrated in St. Peter's Basilica in the Vatican, in Jerusalem, and throughout the world. On the first day of the year, as per tradition, religious authorities and representatives of the various Latin communities of the Holy Land gathered in the Concathedral around the Apostolic Administrator of the Latin Patriarchate of Jerusalem, His Excellency Monsignor Pierbattista Pizzaballa. Numerous local faithful and pilgrims were present. In his homily, His Excellency Monsignor Pizzaballa invited those present to let themselves be awakened by the Word of God. Today, at the beginning of this new year, the Gospel opens the way and provides us with a compass to stay in this time and to welcome it as a blessing. This solemnity coincides with the World Day of Peace. At the end of the celebration, the faithful expressed their wishes in the presence of the Apostolic Administrator of the Archbishop Leopoldo Girelli, new nuncio to Israel and Cyprus, and Apostolic Delegate for Jerusalem and Palestine, of Father Francesco Paton, Custos of the Holy Land, and of Monsignor Giacinto Marcuzzo, Vicar of the Latin Patriarchate.
Alors nous sommes arrivés ce matin à Jérusalem.
We arrived this morning in Jerusalem after spending the night in Bethlehem. In our 4 days of visits to the holy places, we will be able to rediscover our Christian spirituality. Our participation in this New Year's celebration in Jerusalem is very important to us Scouts.
C'est important pour nous les scouts d'y participer.
A wish for the beginning of the new year is to keep an astonished attitude. It seems very difficult in our times where everything is available and ready online and in real time. And yet, this attitude is now more necessary than ever, Archbishop Pizzaballa recalled. Is there anything that can still amaze us?
I believe that a good teaching for this year is to keep an astonished attitude, imitating the Virgin Mary who welcomed everything that happened around her and kept it in her heart. In these times of immediate answers, we should seek to meditate on them instead. We should learn to wait and to contemplate, so to become familiar with the events without judging them, and to listen. Stop and listen. There is no peace without listening.
Il messaggio di pace che viene dalla Terra Santa è sempre questo che
The message of peace from the Holy Land is always the same. Peace is connected with the action of God, but it requires our readiness and acceptance, and obviously our willingness to commit to it according to our skills and availability.
le proprie competenze e responsabilità, quindi chi ha competenze.
Therefore, whoever works in the political field will have to work for peace in the political sphere. Those in the cultural sphere and the teaching and the education fields will have to work on peace, trying to propose a culture of peace and to educate towards peace.
Di proporre una cultura della pace e di educare alla pace.
Peace was also the dominant word in the greeting of the new pontifical representative, Archbishop Girelli, upon his arrival in Jerusalem.
Gesù è nato qui.
Jesus was born here, and today, on the first day of the year, we remember that he was born in the fullness of time from a woman, Mary, whom we venerate as the Mother of God and who brought us God's blessing. That very beautiful blessing that was proclaimed in the first reading in every church contains the perfect greeting of peace. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord let his face shine on you and be gracious to you. May the Lord show you his face and bring you peace. After Jesus was presented in the Temple of Jerusalem, Joseph and Mary went to Nazareth in Galilee. In this city with over 70,000 inhabitants, the custos of the Holy Land, Father Francesco Battone celebrated Mass on the day in which the Church commemorates the Feast of the Holy Family. Local Christians and pilgrims of different nationalities gathered to attend the solemn celebration that was held in the higher area of the Church of the Annunciation. In his homily, Father Amjad Sabara, Latin pastor of Nazareth, introduced the 5 fundamental behaviors in the life of a family.
La prima è l'amore, la seconda è il perdono, la terza è il ringraziare.
The first one is love, the second one is forgiveness, and the third one is gratitude. The fourth one is the act of apologizing and then learning how to appreciate each other. Because of these 5 points, the house founded on the rock that is Christ is able to withstand any storm, because 5 are also the wounds of Jesus who changed history, from sin to redemption. Therefore, difficulties can undoubtedly build the path on which to build the family.
Dal peccato alla redenzione. E questo anche le difficoltà possono essere anche un modo di edificare la famiglia.
The celebration of the Feast of the Holy Family in Nazareth, near the house where Joseph, Mary, and Jesus lived until the end of Jesus' 30th birthday, has a special meaning.
Qui è il luogo dove la Santa Famiglia si è costituita attraverso anche l'amore.
This is the place where the Holy Family took shape through the love blessed by God of these young spouses, Mary and Joseph. This is where the child Jesus was conceived by the work of the Holy Spirit, where the child Jesus learned the meaning of human existence, where he learned to live within a family, and where he learned carpentry skills from Joseph. In fact, he was called the carpenter's son. I want to say that there is no better place to celebrate the Holy Family.
Tant'è che sarà chiamato il figlio del carpentiere o il figlio del falegname, quindi direi non c'è un posto migliore per festeggiare la Santa Famiglia.
After Mass, the procession walked toward the grotto that marks the place where Mary, Joseph, and Jesus lived. This was an important day for these countrymen and countrywomen of the Holy Family. On this date, they celebrated 25 years of married life.
I love Nazareth because this is indeed a holy land. Let us be good and be blessed in our daily life, like the Holy Family.
زي عائلة يسوع ومريم ويوسف النجار.
Nazareth is also an ideal place to experience the arrival of the new year.
E alla fine dell'anno la tradizione cristiana ci fa prima di tutto chiedere perdono per le mancanze che abbiamo commesso.
At the end of the year, the Christian tradition encourages us above all to ask forgiveness for our shortcomings we have committed during the year, after which we sing the Te Deum. In the beautiful hymn of 1600 years ago, we find a verse that is particularly suited in Nazareth, in which we say that the Son of God came to save us and chose to be born of the Virgin's womb.
In cui diciamo che il Figlio di Dio per salvarci ha scelto di nascere nel grembo della Vergine.
The cave in which, according to a medieval tradition, the massacred children were buried, introduces the faithful into a very meaningful atmosphere. The death of the holy innocents could arise more than one perplexity in relation to the conduct of Herod. However, in his homily, the vicar of the custody of the Holy Land, Father Dobromir Jashtal, highlighted that without diminishing the profile of injustice, the martyrdom of these children can be understood only from the standpoint of both the incarnation and the death of Jesus. Father Dobromir also emphasized that this event is even more relevant in the lives of families who wish to follow God's plans, despite the challenges.
La famiglia che ama Dio e accetta
la sua
The
volontà.
family loves God and accepts His will in spite of the difficulties that may arise from time to time, from day to day, with humility, with a heart willing to accept the will of God, trusting in His plans without the excessive use of human logic.
E cercare di comprendere i suoi piani senza applicare troppo la nostra logica umana.
The Holy Mass witnessed the participation of about 70 people, including religious and laity. This was a special day of prayer, also for the many other innocents, such as the victims of war, violence, hunger, and abortion. Broken lives, the consequence of which compromise the future of the new generations.
La vita è un dono ricevuto direttamente da Dio.
Life is a gift that we have received directly from God. Therefore, first of all, it must be accepted, it must be lived, and it must end in the hands of God. No one is allowed to raise his hand to take possession of this right and divine gift. Therefore, without a doubt, any attempt on human life is an attempt on humanity.
Qualsiasi attentato alla vita umana è un attentato all'umanità.
In addition to the altar in memory of the Holy Innocents, the cave also houses another shrine dedicated to Saint Joseph, referring to the episode in which the angel appeared to him in a dream and warned him to run away from Herod with Jesus and Mary towards Egypt. Joseph, an example of a man of faith, was ready to follow the designs of the Lord.
Quindi San Giuseppe si distingue soprattutto per l'obbedienza alla volontà.
Saint Joseph stands out above the crowd for his obedience to the will of God, and he is also an example for all of us because of his acceptance of God's will. He helps us to recognize the presence of God in all these difficult moments. It does not matter if you have to escape, if you have to move. It does not matter if you have to adapt to certain conditions. What is important is to allow God's will to take place in our lives.
Condizioni. Ciò che importa è permettere che la volontà di Dio si compia nella nostra vita.
In the excavation area of the tomb of Lazarus in Bethany, a few kilometers from Jerusalem, beyond the wall, for days workers and restorers have analyzed and have treated the site. Among them is Ahmad.
I am a restorer. We are restoring the ancient wing of the convent, and now we are participating in courses taught by Italian restoration specialists who arrived here to teach us how to treat wood and stone. We are becoming experts, especially regarding the restoration of ancient works.
The initiative, funded by the Consulate General of Italy in Jerusalem, is part of a broader program, carried out for years by ATS Pro Terra Santa in Bethany through the Mosaic Center of Jericho. The program aims to redevelop the archaeological area and to help the city, which is currently in great economic difficulties, restore tourism momentum.
Il progetto nasce in collaborazione con l'Università.
The project was created in collaboration with the Veneria Real University of Turin and with the municipality of Turin, funded by the PMSP, Palestinian Municipality Support Program. It foresees the sending of experts who will be able, at the end of the project, to guarantee a complete and practical training on different aspects of the restoration for the dockyard
Che lavorano
workers.
abitualmente sul cantiere.
Il nostro contributo in realtà da parte di Venaria per il progetto.
Our contribution from Venaria is aimed at training young people who work on this site in terms of conservation and restoration at 360 degrees of the diagnostics of the understanding of the mechanisms of material degradation and of the approach of the preliminary cognitive processes of the restoration intervention.
Conoscitivi preliminari all'intervento di restauro.
The module of Professor Buscaglia is focused on the wooden oil press, currently in critical condition due to insect and fungi attacks. Hope is to eliminate the underpinnings and make it self-sustainable. 7 modules will take place over the months. They will include work on stone and wood, masonry works, a scientific study of microorganisms and infectious animals, and the chemical and geological conditions of materials, an integration of theory and practice, followed by the analysis of samples in Italy and the definition of an intervention protocol. Birth, as explained by Dr. Iman, an obstetrician at St. Joseph's Hospital in Jerusalem, is a natural physiological process. During such an important event for the mother and the child, doctors give their best. Here, priority is given to natural birth, although in some cases a cesarean section is necessary. Here in the hospital, since the beginning of our operation, we have had women who gave birth naturally and others who underwent cesarean section. We always try to reduce the percentage of cesarean sections, ensuring, as might be expected, the mother's and infant's well-being and avoiding endangering their lives. For example, medical reasons for a planned cesarean section may include diabetic mothers or, in emergency cases, a larger than average fetal size. The international medical community considers that the ideal incidence of cesarean sections should be around 10 to 15%. However, as the World Health Organization indicates, this practice is becoming increasingly common in both the developed and the developing countries. The director of the Department of Obstetrics of the St. Joseph Hospital, Dr. Samir Asfour, attributes this phenomenon to the fact that the cesarean section is a rapid procedure, while the natural birth requires more time.
نسبة القيصريات في العالم في تزايد أعلى نسبة موجودة في البرازيل بحدود.
Throughout the world, the use of cesarean section is increasing. The highest percentage is found in Brazil, where it is practiced 75 to 80% of cases. In Great Britain, the percentage is at 30%, and Ireland at 25%. Here in Palestine at about 30 to 35%. There are countries that exceed Brazil, reaching 90%.
عندنا في فلسطين برضو النسبة عالية بحدود 30 أو 35%، وفي بعض المستشفيات تتعدى البرازيل حتى ممكن توصل ل 90%.
These constantly increasing percentages are neutralized by the many practices that all around the world promote the so-called humanized childbirth, such as the water birth.
بالنسبة للولادة في البركة يعني إحنا حاولنا نعطي الست.
As part of the birth in water, we are trying to offer all the options available as in the rest of the world. Water birth is practiced mainly in Britain and it is said to make things easier for the mother. In this way, women can experience natural birth without experiencing acute pain.
بتعطي راحة أكتر للست. بتكون الست على أريحيتها خلال الولادة بتكون أسرع وبتكون أقل ألم.
Another factor that makes the difference at birth is spiritual help.
Ogni famiglia, ogni bambino che viene al mondo è come se fosse qualcuno.
I feel that every family, every child that comes into the world here with my assistance is entrusted to me. For this reason, when I work, especially when a woman suffers or when the birth may present unforeseen complications, I resort to prayer. I pray often and I do it silently because we take care of people of different religious backgrounds.
Però in silenzio, ma spesso prego.